Hey guys, we got another update. Missed last week, busy working. As you can see, I decided to add a two-handed weapon to the main character and have him put his other weapons away. So, gone but not forgotten, and not gone forever. So, let's go over what we have here. So, two-handed axe, out handled nicely. And then we got a shield in the back and a sword in the scabbard on his hip. So you remember the sword already. We fought with the sword a bunch of times. In a different location here, this is the boss level. And that's what we're going to be fighting through. But I wanted to do this area because I don't want an enemy attacking me while I test this and figure this out and get this stuff working. So we don't have all the animations plugged in. I was trying to get the weapon swap to work and to make sure it was working properly. So we got that fixed first. And we got that started first. And then we're going to plug in the animations next week. It's just plugging stuff in. I'm going to edit some of these animations. I'm not a big fan of the run forward animation you'll see in a minute. But basically what we did, and we can go into the code here, is we have the weapon swap. So it goes through the weapon, it plays an animation montage. This thing has like 10 notifies. So a notify is a little piece of code in the animation that when the time goes over that notify marker, it plays a piece of code on the blueprint of the character and changes how it works. So because we're swapping a weapon, I have to move the weapons around in different hands and then put them on different spots of the body. So what ends up happening is you have to turn the weapons on and off a bunch of different times in order for it to transition from one hand to the other hand to the back to the hand and then the scabbard to the hand and then vice versa. So there's quite a bit of transitory code that needs to go in during that animation. So that's how that works. And then what we have is input disabled. And we did this because we do not want anything to interrupt for this. If something interrupts any part of this sequence, your game's broken pretty much. We have a reset at the end of this code. If it doesn't hit that reset, the code's dead. You can't run the code. So we need to make sure that this runs properly. So disable the input, delays the duration, make sure the full animation will play, changes the animation class, and what this does is changes your blueprint. So from two-handed to one-handed. And then we have what's called a caster, which is for all blueprint interfaces that has this interface, which is a BPI, blueprint interface, animation blueprint caster. So what this is, for any blueprint, animation blueprint you want to swap out, you need this in. Because what this does is it allows you to cast to the character possessing the blueprint. And then when the character is possessing that blueprint, I can get the blueprint from the character. The glitch I was having before is I wasn't casting to the character. It casts at begin play, but if the blueprint isn't loaded, it doesn't do that cast. So then nothing happens. So what you need to do is have this caster node on top of the begin play node. And what this will do is this forces it to cast and get that reference. So that was essential, and that was what the bug was, which I think doing my other fix would have also worked. That other fix which was going to be just combine them into one blueprint and kind of mesh it all together. I think that could have also worked, but I decided against it ultimately and switched to this. Or I didn't switch, I kept this. I was going to switch to the other one, I should say. Then we enabled the input so you have control of the player again. We set the owners. So what this does is it sets the weapons. So weapon gets set. Weapon gets set to the axe, or the weapon gets set to the sword and shield. We got to set those owners, and the reason we have to do it this way is because the sockets are empty until they're filled with something. So when you fill the socket with the object that it corresponds with, you also have to set the owner so that you can apply the damage properly and do all those sorts of things. So it's an essential component of weapons. So that's why we have our owner set. And then we have our ticks. So our ticks are blocking tick, focus mode tick, stamina damage tick. And basically what that does is just re-trigger certain things after you turn on the input again. So yeah, that's kind of what we did. That's how we fixed it. That's how we implemented it. We went through the animations. So why not go through some gameplay? Let's see it in action. Enough talk. Let's see it in action. So we got the axe in here, running around, being a badass. Have focus mode. And we can go through various ones. We have a lunge for the axe. And the reason I went with the lunge is because we got it spiked. So I said, fuck it, why not? It's easier than having him attack from the other direction. This is a very long axe. So it was very awkward to animate. And honestly, a big poke is a super effective tool. So having a spike on the end of this axe really kind of transforms it from a Dane Axe to more of a standard pole arm of like a, of pole arm. And we have thrusting capability, which is kind of nice. Spears and stuff like that are probably going to be more thrusting oriented, but I thought, it looked kind of cool. And I love the combo animation. It's super heavy. So yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the run forward animation. It's a little too dainty. I'm going to tweak that, make that a little bit heavier. And then the turn and place animations are one hand and shield. I forgot those. So dodging is one hand and shield. We might fix that. But it's not a huge deal. I think I'm going to keep them for now, and then if I want to change them, I'll change them. Now the shield is blocking quite a bit. But shield on the back is a classic Viking maneuver, so if I want to shrink it, I can shrink it later. Like I said, nothing's finished right now. We're in the very early prototype stage, and yeah. So this is the axe. This is how the axe works. Now we're going to swap weapons. And there we go. Weapons are swapped. Everything looks good. Turn in place works. Stance changing works. This was broken before, by the way. The camera angle doesn't look fantastic because we're not focused on anything, so it's slightly... Character's slightly off. Axe on the back looks okay, floating around. Doing its thing. And again. Boom, boom, boom. Back to this. So it doesn't line up perfectly in the animations, but honestly, it's not that offensive. I'm pretty happy with this. Like I said, right now we've disabled input. And the reason we're doing that is because I can't have anything interrupt that sequence, or else you're fucked for the rest of the game. So I'd rather not bother. But yeah, if you ever want to swap to sword and shield, you got your sword and shield. So yeah, pretty happy with this. I literally was recording this. I've done about 5 takes on it, and then I had an epiphany, and I just realized how to fix that bug. That bug is only it's a short bug, but it hit me right away once I figured it out. And sure enough, that was the exact issue. So we got it. We got it figured out. Love how this is turning out. Love how much work I saved just figuring that bug out in fucking 10 minutes. Love it. Next week, we're going to be doing more two-handed axe animation fixes, getting that polished up and cleaned up. And then we're going to be playing with some maybe AI stuff the week after. And then when we kind of have the one enemy kind of right where we want them, we got the axe, sword, shield working kind of nice, and we got them kind of balanced. We're going to then implement a second enemy. We're going to see what it's like fighting 2 enemies at once. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll go from there. So we'll have to see how this stuff works. We're still very much in an experimental stage, but once we get this foundation down, it's just a matter of plugging away. The biggest thing that takes so much time right now is just the uncertainty of how things are going to work, and then having to go back and forth and figure out how to make this stuff work properly. So once we get the foundation laid down and it's just a matter of pumping out content, this thing is going to really take off in, I think, a few months. Once we get that foundation down, I think in like 3 or 4 months, we can slam out the rest of this level. So we'll see how it goes. I've been blasting away at content. I'm making more 3D artwork, assets behind the scenes. I made an entirely new character model. It's the boss for this level. I've made his weapon. We're going to have to do another character model for enemy types. So I'm chipping away at other stuff behind the scenes while plugging away at the coding and fixing up how this game runs. And we're plugging away at it. So a little bit more work to do, but we're close. We're close, and we're going to get there. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll catch you next week. Video ran a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but I was just so happy that I fixed that bug, and I just had to show you, even though you have no idea what I'm talking about. Or maybe you do. I imagine you don't. I just felt like I needed to share it. So yeah, big bug fix. I was going to completely change how I was going to do it, and that was going to work, but this is better. Because this means that when I go to equipment and I want to go like with a throwing axe or a grapple hook, I can get rid of the entire blueprint, start over with a new blueprint, animation blueprint, and not have the thing break on me. So once I figured out why the glitch was happening, I immediately fixed it. It immediately, like, it was first guess as to why it was broken. Boom, fixed it. Outside of thinking, oh, changing animation blueprints just doesn't work. It does work. It works really nice. And I am just ecstatic that this all panned out. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll catch you hopefully next week, if not the week after. But I'm thinking we'll have some more stuff to show next week. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.